They say if you hear your name being called at night, don't answer. Even if it sounds like your mother, even if it sounds like you. Because once you answer, it knows you. And once it knows you, it follows you. The village of Umu-Oji was quiet, peaceful, a place where people left their doors open during the day, but never after midnight. Everyone grew up with one rule: never answer your name at night. They didn't explain why. They didn't need to, but Ngozi didn't know that. She was 17, sharp, pretty, raised in the city. She had just lost her mother and was sent to live with her aunt in the village. She hated it. No electricity, no Wi-Fi, no one her age, just chickens, dust, and silence. When she arrived, she looked around like the village was a punishment. She dragged her bag into the compound and muttered, "So this is the great Umu-Oji? No light, no signal, no life." Her aunt, Auntie Nkechi, only smiled gently, but later that night, as they ate yam by lantern light, she said, "Ngozi, if anyone calls your name at night, no matter who it sounds like, don't answer." Ngozi raised an eyebrow. "Why? Will village ghosts come and carry me?" Her aunt didn't laugh. She just looked at her, quiet, cold. Then she got up and locked every window. That night the air was too still. Ngozi stayed up late, reading her book by candlelight. Everyone else had gone to sleep. Around 11:30 the candle flickered. Outside a dog barked once, then silence again. She was about to lie down when she heard it. "Ngozi!" She paused, looked around, nothing. Then it came again, softer, closer, just outside her window. Whisper, "Ngozi, open the door." She stood up. Her legs felt light. Was someone playing a trick? "Auntie?" No answer. She moved to the window and pulled the curtain aside. The moon was out. The yard was empty. Nothing moved, not even the trees. She shook her head, laughed a little, and whispered to herself, "This village is already messing with my head." She climbed into bed and pulled the covers up. But just as she began to doze off, the room got cold. Colder than it had any right to be in a Nigerian village. Her breath came out like mist. The candle flickered low. Then, a tap on the window. Tap, tap, tap. She sat up slowly. The candle almost died. Whisper, even closer. "Ngozi." She got up, walked straight to the window, and this time she opened it. Wind blew in, soft, cold wind. But no one was there. The next morning she sat with her aunt by the fire, boiling water. "Did you call me last night?" Ngozi asked. Auntie Nkechi looked up slowly. "Why?" "I heard someone say my name twice, then knock on the window." Her aunt froze. The kettle slipped from her hand. "Did you answer it?" Ngozi, hesitant. I said, 'Who's there?' just once." Her aunt stood, her eyes filled with fear. "Ngozi, what have you done?" That evening the compound felt off. Ngozi passed the hallway mirror and stopped. Behind her reflection, something moved. She turned around. Nothing. She looked back at the mirror. Her reflection was still staring back, but this time it was smiling. Ngozi wasn't. The next day, Ngozi barely ate. She sat outside staring into space. Her aunt watched her from a distance. Her hands washed clothes, but her eyes stayed fixed on the girl. That night had changed something Ngozi couldn't explain, and something her aunt was too afraid to ask. That night, Ngozi had a dream, or something like a dream. She was in a dark forest. Tall shadows surrounded her. The trees moved like they were whispering her name. She turned in every direction, but there was no path. Then she saw it, a woman standing far away, same clothes as Ngozi, same face, but no eyes, just blackness where her eyes should be. And when she opened her mouth to speak, "Ngozi, Ngozi, come and see." Ngozi screamed and shot up in bed. Her heart raced. Her clothes were soaked in sweat. The window was closed. The door was locked. But her name was written on the mirror, in steam, as if someone, or something, had been inside. By morning, she couldn't keep quiet anymore. "Auntie, this thing, it keeps calling me, in dreams, in mirrors." Her aunt didn't look surprised, only scared. She stood slowly, wiped her hands and said, "You have to go and see Mama Uduak." "Who's that?" Ngozi asked. "The only person in this village who knows what walks at night." Mama Uduak lived at the edge of the village. People said she was half blind, half mad, but nobody ignored her. Her compound was full of herbs and feathers, bones and ashes. When she saw Ngozi, she didn't even greet her. She just said, "You answered, didn't you?" Ngozi froze. "They always come sweet at first, sound like someone you love, but it's not them, it's never them." "Ngozi, what is it?" "Mama Uduak, it's a mimic spirit, old, hungry. It calls your name until you answer, and once you do, it takes part of you." Mama Uduak took Ngozi inside. She placed an old round mirror in front of her. Then she lit a candle. "Look at your reflection. If the spirit has marked you, it will show." Ngozi stared into the mirror, at first just her face. Then her reflection blinked, but she didn't. Her reflection smiled, but she didn't. And then the reflection whispered, "Ngozi, come and see." Mama Uduak snatched the mirror and covered it. "It knows you now. It has your name, and it's not done with you." Ngozi backed away. "Can't you help me? Kill it?" Mama Uduak looked her dead in the eyes. "You don't kill what follows the name. You survive it, if you're lucky." That night, back home, the air was different. Even Auntie Nkechi felt it. The candles kept going out. The dog barked at empty corners. Ngozi lay awake, holding her aunt's Bible tight. She didn't sleep. She didn't blink. But just before dawn, she heard a sound under the bed, a whisper. This time, it didn't say her name. It laughed. The thing had her name now. It didn't need to call it anymore. Now, it wanted something else. Her face, her voice, her place. And it was already inside the house. The morning after was strange. The air felt heavy. No birds chirped. Not even the rooster crowed. Ngozi sat at the wooden table, silent, her eyes red. She hadn't slept. Her aunt Nkechi lit the stove with shaking hands. "Auntie Nkechi," worried, "we'll go to church today. The pastor will pray." Ngozi, soft, distant, "Prayer won't help, not when it knows my voice." On the wall, a mirror was covered with a faded white cloth, but Ngozi could still feel it, like something behind it was watching her. Later that day, her aunt called for the village elders. 3 old men came. They stood outside, whispering. She answered the night voice. Then it has her reflection." He leaned closer and whispered, "Break the mirror." And the spirit finds another door, water, windows, even a spoon. Keep it covered and pray she survives. They left with pity in their eyes, but no real solution. As days passed, the village children stopped coming near. The dogs barked at nothing. In her room, food would spoil overnight. Milk turned sour, bread turned green, and her shadow? It started acting. Strange. Sometimes it lagged behind her steps. Sometimes it didn't move at all. That evening, there was a crash. Ngozi and her aunt ran into the corridor. The cloth had fallen off the mirror. The glass was bare, clear, almost glowing. Ngozi stepped closer and saw her reflection. Only, it wasn't quite her. The reflection smiled, but Ngozi wasn't smiling. Its eyes were empty, deep, black. "Let me live for you. I'll keep you safe. Just step aside." Ngozi reflection said. Ngozi's lips trembled. She couldn't move. Her aunt rushed in. splashed holy water on the glass. The reflection flickered, twitched, and vanished, but the glass didn't fog. Instead, it smiled back with tiny cracks that healed themselves. The next day, a young man named Chidi arrived, a theology student, back home from the city. He heard what happened. Chidi, firm. Light drives out darkness. I'll pray with her. That night, he sat in her room, holding a candle and a Bible. Ngozi sat in the corner, shaking. Chidi, praying. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow, the candle flame turned blue. Then it went out. Ngozi's window fogged up, and from beneath the bed came a giggle. Show yourself, in Jesus' name. The mirror across the room clouded and wrote a message in the mist. I am her shadow. Are you yours? Suddenly, Chidi's reflection reached out, grabbed his throat, and pulled him halfway into the mirror. Ngozi screamed. Auntie Nkechi rushed in, smashed a lantern on the wall. Fire roared. The mirror screeched like bamboo snapping, and Chidi dropped to the floor, gasping. But he never spoke again. His eyes were wide, like they'd seen something no one should. That night, as rain poured from the sky, Ngozi sat in the dark, alone, crying. Ngozi whispers, God, if you can hear me, please. The window slammed open, wind blew out the lamp, and on the floor appeared wet footprints, walking toward her. The mirror glowed. Her reflection stepped forward again. You're tired. Let me take your place. Just touch the glass. Ngozi reflection said. Ngozi's hand rose slowly, trembling. She couldn't stop it. She was inches away. Auntie Nkechi shouting, Ngozi, don't! Auntie smashed another lantern. Flames lit the room. The spirit screamed. The glass cracked, but did not break. They dragged Ngozi out, coughing in smoke. Ngozi no longer slept. She barely ate. Every night her own voice whispered from dark corners. And now, it was raining. The kind of rain that never felt clean. Ngozi, soft, broken. It wants me. It still wants me. Auntie Nkechi, firm. We will go to the mountain priestess. She's the only one who sees beyond mirrors. Ngozi nodded weakly, but as the thunder rolled, a voice echoed again. Her own voice, soft, distant. Ngozi, I'm cold. Let me in. At dawn, they left. The road to the mountain was long, overgrown, filled with old trees that whispered secrets. Auntie Nkechi held a lantern. Ngozi walked behind, her reflection flickering in puddles. When they finally reached the cave, the priestess was already waiting. Priestess, old calm voice. She answered it. So it knows her. It wants her body, her breath, her name. How do we stop it? Auntie Nkechi, desperate. We don't stop it. She does. Priestess replied. How? Ngozi asked weakly. Priestess, it only wins when you believe you are weaker than it. You are not. You are still alive. She handed Ngozi a charm made of ash and bone. Priestess whispered, Tonight, you must face the mirror and speak your true name. That night, Ngozi sat alone in her room. The mirror stood across from her, covered, silent. The rain was heavier now. The wind howled through the window. She stood and slowly uncovered the mirror. For a moment, nothing. Then, her reflection stepped forward. It smiled, then frowned. Ngozi's reflection, sweet, cruel. You've been so tired, Ngozi. I've waited long enough. Let me wear your skin. Number, I know who I am now, Ngozi said. She raised the charm. Her reflection laughed. Charms won't help. You let me in. Now I want it all. The lights flickered. Shadows danced. The mirror began to ripple like water, and the voice multiplied, hundreds of her own voices screaming her name. Ngozi grabbed her chest, gasping for breath. A sharp pain shot through her ears. It felt like they were tearing apart. Everything around her started to spin. like the walls were closing in. The mirror cracked wider, and another Ngozi climbed out, pale, smiling, with eyes like nothing, fake Ngozi, grinning. "You're not strong enough. You called me. You welcomed me." Ngozi, in tears. "No, I was scared, but not anymore." She grabbed a shard of the old lantern, held it to her palm, and cut herself. Blood hit the mirror. The reflection screamed. Ngozi, shouting, "I am Ngozi, daughter of Neka. This name is mine." The mirror shook, cracked from corner to corner, then shattered into dust. The fake Ngozi let out a last shriek and vanished into smoke. The voices stopped. The wind died. And for the first time in weeks, the house was silent. The next morning, the rain was gone. Ngozi stood outside, breathing, alive. Auntie Nkichi wept and hugged her, but Ngozi looked at the sky and whispered, "Never again." They never hung a mirror in the house again. And at night, if someone called your name, even if it sounded like your sister, your mother, your own voice, you never answered, because once it